Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So this is one of those builds that actually chose me. I didn't choose to build a Firefly brand set skill power build, but it just happened to be that with all the pieces that you're seeing here, it just happened to roll in this way that Murakami Industries, 3 sets of it, actually gave me all the talents and all the requirements that I needed in order to unlock all the skills that you actually see, all the talents, sorry, that you actually see here. So this is a Firefly set, and all I'm doing is I'm just running it. Now I'm running my demolitionist, but I was actually somewhere messing around. Actually, I've actually decided to run my SMG with this in order to actually enjoy it to a very large extent. So what are my talents and what are my skills that we're seeing? So let's start with the brand sets and the talents, and then we'll move over to the weapons to see if you can judge this build. I would say this build is at like a 90.1 out of 100 in sense of, grading. So I'll give this build an A, but you give it a grade after the end of the video if it's an A build or a B build or a C build. And let's go from there. So the first piece is my Murakami Industries mask, which gives me damage to elites. It also gives me health on kill. It gives me extra hazard protection, so I'm pretty much very much immune to a lot of the hazardous type effects. And so this was a mask that I was just very fortunate to get. Now look at some of the attributes. It does have some of the health and, when I say more of the armor type attributes on there, and so these attributes will add up to help me unlock patience as we're going through the build. My chest piece is a Fenris group chest piece. It gives me 10% assault rifle damage and also 10% protection from elites, which has 7,000 health, almost 8,000 health, 13.5 critical hit damage, and about 900 skill power. So the chest piece now has the talents Berserk and Hardened. So I have 10% extra armor, and then I have the talent Berserk, which is one of the best DPS talents out here, and it says 10% weapon damage for every 10% of max armor depleted. Now my holster also has health and health on kill, and I also added some more health mods as well to help me to unlock patience on my knee pads. And so I have 4.5 or 4.3% critical chance resistance, and then 5% explosive resistance as well. Now I need to find better mods, and so this is probably one aspect that I would say is probably going to deduct a few points from this if you were grading this build on a point system. My backpack is the 5.11 or 5.11 tactical brand set, and it comes with an extra 5% protection from elites as well. So altogether I'm sporting with my Fenris, I think I'm sporting 10%, and with this backpack I'm sporting 15% protection from elites. I don't feel it. I still feel squishy regardless, but hey, let's just call it what it is. We just got these brand sets that are giving all this fun stuff, and it has critical hit chance, 3% weapon damage, and more skill power. And then for my gloves, I have a Murakami pair of gloves with health and skill power, and I have Terminate, which says depleting an enemy's armor grants 35% skill damage for 15 seconds. Now, this is where a lot of people are going to jump on me and say, hey, where's your clutch? I know, guys, I know, but for those of you who know me and know how I've been doing my build videos from time on, I'm very careful before I recalibrate stuff. So in regard to clutch, which I know is going to make this build pretty much a complete healer slash DPS slash self-sustained build, I found clutch in my stash. Somehow I kept a whole bunch of stuff from when I started getting past level 30, and I found a gear score 93 gloves with clutch on them. I have not been able to find any other piece with clutch. And so all day, all weekend, even not even all day, all weekend I've been farming, and I have not gotten anything even a similar. Now, when I went to the recalibration station, clutch was able to roll on these pair of gloves, but there's another build that I'm making that actually would require for me to get another pair of gloves that are clutch. And so I'm not certain which build I want to go for. So if I decide to stick with this build, which I don't know if I will, but I've been enjoying it nonetheless, then I will roll clutch over here. I think more like if I get another pair of Murakami gloves that look like this, not in necessarily having this talent, but at least having a health and maybe a skill power not maybe, a health and a skill power electronics attribute, then definitely I will be rolling clutch on there. The reason I say that is because the talent here, Safeguard, requires you to have very little of your damage attributes. So that's why. Now it needs you to have 5 or less. In the case of this build, I have about 3. So I guess even if I found another pair of gloves, with the way things are, it would necessarily not change much. You know, ideally, I would say a Circle of Concern mask that looks just like this with 2 health attributes and hard hitting would actually be perfect, but can't seem to find a Circle of mask that does that, because I will get extra SMG damage in the case of that situation. Now, if I were to get maybe a Circle of mask and even a Circle of pair of gloves that look like that as well, and that would put me in the critical hit damage category. But I'm doing what I can, and I've been getting only the Firefly pieces, and so that's why you see me with a pretty much not even no effort min-max, almost min-max Firefly build. There's even I put no effort into this build, and it just showed up this way. Now onto the knee pads. Knee pads has hard hitting and patience. Patience says after being in cover for about 3 seconds, armor repair is repairs by 5% every 1 second. The way they write these skill attributes, man, it's like, golly, they could have just written it simpler. But it's okay, who cares? The game is great, enjoying the game and stuff. And so this is pretty much my build, and I'm running the Bomb Raider Firefly, and did I say the Bomb Raider? Sorry, the Demolisher Firefly. And this damages enemy weak points, skills, proxies, and environmental explosives. And I must say, it's actually very good. I mean, I tried it just recently, but you kind of have to get some proximity. You have to be able to aim and pretty much wait. The NPCs have to be in place in order for you to actually get that damage out of there. But the thing about it too is once it just goes out and then it destroys, then there's nothing else you can do. You have to wait for its very, 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 not too long, but you know, quite significant cooldown. And so I've been using it. I'm not gonna lie, the game gave me all this stuff, and I'm gonna just keep running it as I want. Now for my weapons, I have my P416, my custom P416 G3, and the reason I'm using the custom P416 is because it has a little bit more accuracy than the P416, sorry, stability than the P416 itself. Yes, and so I've modded both of them pretty much the same way. So let's look at some of my mods. I have my vertical grip that gives me 10% accuracy. I have extra mag with 30 rounds, and I lose about 10% rate of fire, which is not necessarily that significant for me. And then my holographic sight also gives me a lot of accuracy. The reason I'm taking more accuracy on a weapon like this is because a weapon like this already does significant damage. At 11,000, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's actually very, very good. And so I will take that amount of damage and I'm happy with this RPM. And my talents, I'm not necessarily happy with Eyeless here. I would have preferred Ignited. I like Allegro. It increases my rate of fire, so it counters the rate of fire loss. And then Stop, Drop, and Roll is just definitely something that I enjoy using. I mean, if you watch my other videos about talents that are really good, I almost always mention this talent. This talent has saved me countless times. And so, yes, I will probably roll maybe Preservation on here, actually. It says kill an enemy repairs 5% armor over 3 seconds, and headshot kills improve the repair. So I'm still just leaving these 2 weapons the way they are, because this P416, it needs just, the only thing it needs is to pretty much leave it the way it is. It's almost a perfect roll. And so for me to take this Preservation and put it here in this custom is a little difficult for me to do, just because I like to hold on to things like that instead of just moving on and probably farm and probably get another one. But that's just how I am. I'm kind of a hoarder. It's a mess. It's terrible. Like you see this 83 out of 100. My stash is full, and I started a second character today just because of stash space. That's how crazy full gear is, and gear is just abundant in this game, and it's amazing. Now my SMG of choice is the MPX. I've decided to go with the MPX, and I know I could also use the P90, all that good stuff, and the P90 has some really good talents as well. I mean, not the greatest. It has preservation, which is great. It has optimize, which is okay, and then I could get something else here, but I wanted just to use the MPX just because. And if you notice, I did not put, why did I not put this? I thought I put an, okay, yeah, I did the optics, and I did not add a muzzle here because I still need to go back and craft some more muzzles. That's what I missed out. Sorry about that. That is my bad. I need to craft a muzzle. I have not decided which one I want to craft, but my SMG has more accuracy, 10% accuracy on the holographic sight. I'm using that, and then I'm using the laser for an extra 10% critical hit chance. And I know it's losing some critical hit range, but please note that this SMG also has accurate as well. So it has fast hands, which says critical hits adds a stack of 3% reload bonus, and the max stack is about 20. Everlasting while holstered and in cover, this weapon regenerates 2% ammo every 5 seconds. So, oh sorry, 2 ammo every 5 seconds. That's a lot of staying in cover. Well, I mean, you could be while holstered and in cover, so you could be shooting from cover and you'll be regenerating or whatever. Now, the muzzle that I'm using is the 9mm muzzle or 9mm muzzle, and it gives me more accuracy as well. I'm taking a lot of accuracy because accuracy in this game is very, very critical. And so there is my Firefly build. It just literally just kind of fell in my lap, and I put a build together out of it, and I've actually been enjoying it. And yes, it does damage. Yes, it does healing. And yes, I could roll clutch on here, but I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Perhaps I'll get myself a pair of Murakami gloves, or hey, even better, Circle of Concern gloves that have clutch and also have health and whatever, just 1 health and anything else, because at this point I think I'm meeting the requirements to be able to keep Mr. what's the name of this talent? I keep forgetting, Safeguard over here. And so thank you guys for listening and watching this video. I really appreciate your time and audience. Thank you for your comments and your feedback. If you have any improvement ideas for me, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. Like I always say, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I would hate to be. I prefer you guys to actually show me the way, for those of you who are, you know, pretty good at this kind of stuff. But here it is, and thank you once again, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace.